Good afternoon.
Good evening, wherever you are on our amazing, amazing planet. I'm Ariel.
Name's Shya.
Welcome to being here.
Yes.
Today's episode is the superpower of being
You.
Shya was just talking to our producer and our guests, and he was saying, do you guys realize how brilliant you are?
How amazing you are.
How incredible.
I mean, you think you're just you. You don't realize being alive is just such an amazing phenomena that we forget about or waste it on thinking something else would be better, something else, a new place to be would be better. Living in Hawaii would be better.
Mm-hmm.
At least I wouldn't have a bear in Hawaii.
The bear ripped up our bird feeder today.
Yes.
I told Shya he's got to stop wishing for projects because that's going to be a big one to try and put it back together. I mean, that bear had to be huge.
Yes.
It pulled over this big post that was on a metal fixture into the ground. It pulled over the
electric fence.
It pulled over this giant bird feeder, ripped it apart. I kind of wish I was there to have seen it.
Yeah.
I am there to see the aftermath.
Well,
life is grand.
Yes. We'll handle it.
Yeah.
What? Being you is really amazing.
Yeah. Today I had a wonderful interaction with a state trooper.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I got pulled over. Evidently, actually, I pulled through a stop sign without fully stopping.
Okay. Did you even start the stop?
I did. I slowed down, but I didn't fully stop for sure. And she said, you blew through that license registration. I said, this is the first time I've gotten a ticket since I'm 16 years old. And I sat there grinning because I deserved it. I started pulling over before she even turned on the lights. She took my license registration, went back. She came back and she goes, I'm just giving you a warning. She asked me if I'd ever been pulled over. I said, for an expired registration, my tags were. She saw that my driving license was squeaky clean. But what I loved was I wasn't irritated with her. I wasn't even particularly irritated with me. It was definitely info that I was distracted. And I told her I was distracted by a book. I was listening to a book. She's like, where are you going? I said, I'm heading to Pilates. So I wasn't going to rob a bank or anything. So she let me go. It was very sweet. That's me. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Now, if you didn't listen because you were hoping we would get on to the important things, your loss. If you did listen, your gain in the change modality. You can only be exactly as you are, but listening definitely pulls you into the moment.
Oh, and if you get in the moment, there's no place to get to. Here is enough. Where you are. What's this?
It's just magnificent when you're here.
Well, yes. I mean, you do things in the current moment of your life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're busy striving to get somewhere else, you're never in the current moment.
Mm.
It's always, this isn't it until I get there. But except when you get there, even if you accomplish what you've set out to do, it's never enough to be satisfying or fulfilling because that isn't it either.
I think most people hear being in the moment as a goal, and that when you're out of the moment, it's a failure. Every moment of your life is a possibility just to be you exactly as you are.
Every moment of your life is perfect. That would include this moment, by the way.
Yes. I'm enjoying leaning on it, by the way.
Yeah, it's nice. It is nice. I'm glad you didn't get a ticket. I mean, I can't afford any more tickets.
I was ready for it, though. And I was willing.
I got it.
Yeah.
But you see, your attitude had everything to do with it, too. You probably greeted her in a way that she did not expect.
License registration. I said, as soon as I figure out how to open this glove box, because you know it's the glove box for our Tesla. You have to find a button on the screen. It was very fun. Let's take our first guest, shall
Yes.
we?
Yes.
All right, Sandra, welcome to being here. Hope you're enjoying yourself so far. Tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hi, Ariel and Shya. This is Sandra from Schönenbuch in Switzerland.
Schönenbuch.
Schönenbuch, yes.
Is that like beautiful book?
Yes, exactly.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, that's close to Basel. It's about 20 minutes outside from Basel countryside.
Oh, very nice.
So nice to
Yeah.
see you. Welcome,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you. I had so much fun to listen to you right now. Really good stories. And you just mentioned something. You said being in the moment is for some people like a goal.
Mhm.
And if you're not in the moment, it's a failure. And this was just like, wow. That's how it feels sometimes for me. And where I'm sometimes struggling because I have to organize in my job quite a lot of things in advance. So it's a lot of thing in to look forward, or no, not look forward, to plan, to schedule a year.
Yeah, for the
And
future.
then for the future, exactly. And then it's like, but then I'm not in the moment.
Oh,
Well,
yes,
wait
you
a
are.
second. Here's the thing.
Yes.
If you're doing what you're doing rather than thinking you should be doing something else, you're in that moment. See, the moment includes,
Whatever you're in the midst of.
well, it includes, she finishes my sentences.
I do.
Sometimes she knows where I'm going, other times she doesn't. So it includes the future. The current moment includes the possibility of future and past, but it's not based in either one. See, it's like a bowl that holds everything.
Yes.
So it holds the future and it holds the past. How you are in the current moment affects how your future shows up. So you plan for the future because you have a job that includes lots of things that include the future. So if you are there while you're doing your planning, chances are you won't make any mistakes. But if you're thinking about your holiday,
Or if you're thinking about whether or not you're doing it right,
or you're thinking about whether you want to or not, all those things keep you from the possibility of doing what you're doing with excellence. See, being in the moment is really about having excellence in all aspects of your life.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yes, it
well,
is.
for example,
You hear our cat?
I don't know if you can hear her. She's a little far
I can hear it.
away. She's like, no, not now, not the future. The title of today's episode, of course, is The Superpower of Being You. And we're doing it in this timing because we're coming to Hamburg toward the end of May. So this episode airs the last day of April. So hi, welcome, almost May, everybody. And the 22nd, we're doing the Freedom to Breathe and then the Superpower of Being You, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, the 23rd, 4th, and 5th. And when we arrive in Hamburg, we need to know what course we'll be doing when we come back in the fall. We need to have it planned. We need to have the dates. We need to have the contracts in place. We need to have the theme. We need to.
By contract, she means through the rooms that we rent for this to do the seminar in, and the hotel that we stay at.
All of the details. So this morning we were working on putting together what it is that we are going to do. And so we were going through lists of different themes and seeing what resonated for us. So we were definitely being here whilst in the midst of those things, even though whatever we come up with won't be actuated until the fall.
I like that. I
Yeah,
never looked at this. Like you just mentioned that you are there when you are planning, and then you are in the moment, or you do that, even if it's in the future.
right. Well, that's what your moment includes in that.
Mm. That's cool.
Do you ever, when you're planning for events for work, a year in the future, 9 months in the future, start getting concerned about whether or not you've chosen the right dates, the right places, you have all the details in in place?
Yes, absolutely. That happens.
Something that I've come to discover is if I don't have it totally centered or settled for me, like this is the date, this is the theme, I'm using whatever our, I just don't have all the information yet.
Hmm.
I have never done it wrong. You have never done it wrong. You can't do it wrong. And so if something's not gelling just yet, I generally have discovered that there's something else needed, like input from a person, or there's just it's just not there yet.
Hmm. That's very good.
Baby, it's raining here. She is a fair weather baby. She's not real fond of weather.
And she may have seen the bear, and
Yeah,
that
she
might
was
have
a little
scared her a
freaked out
bit.
this morning. She growls at the UPS. She's our watch cat. So when we get deliveries, we know because she runs growling. So I'm sure the bear was even bigger than the UPS delivery. So that's good. That's good. I love that could acknowledge that you've turned, like most of us, being in the moment into a change modality where there's good and bad, right and wrong, better, worse. The good Sandra's in the moment, the bad Sandra's distracted. It was really great that lady, that trooper, pulled me over today because I was distracted and I was driving a several thousand-pound vehicle. Much, much better to be here when I'm driving than to drive distracted.
Hmm. Yeah. And what I learn or what I notice is what I like there are moments where I notice when I'm distracted. And when these moments are coming and I notice it, then when I can laugh about it, I like that.
That's great. Yeah. Hey, look, you can't be different than you are in the current moment. You might as well enjoy yourself.
Well, if you can't laugh at it, all it is indication you're in the midst of an upset. When you're upset, nothing is funny, everything's
Well,
serious.
when you're upset, you think things ought to be different than they are.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You
Absolutely.
see that they're perfect exactly as they are. See, you can't change what is. It changes on its own.
Yes.
If
Sometimes I see that, and sometimes it's like I don't see it at all.
yes, of course, that's when you're trying to get somewhere.
Mm.
So nice being with you today.
Yeah,
Really.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and it's fun to see our calendar in the background too.
yeah,
Where is it? Oh, yeah, I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Are
Me
you a
too.
musician?
Yes, I am.
What kind of music do you do? Do you sing? Do you play? What?
So I'm playing a little flute. It's like called piccolo.
Oh, yes.
Ah,
So it's like the mini.
I saw the music stand behind you. That's why I asked.
Yeah, so this is a typical instrument for Basel Carnival.
oh,
Uh-huh.
fun.
Yeah. So I
Are
play that since I'm 8 years old.
Oh, how fun is that? I'm afraid the answer might be no.
You
So
must have been a very,
you're
very
cute.
cute 8-year-old. Because you're very cute, however old you are now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you ever have little pigtails? Like, did you
What's that?
little braids?
Pigtails?
Little
Braids.
braids?
No, I
No.
never had.
You were, I bet you were cute though. Yeah.
So yeah,
Awesome.
that's a lot of fun. So we just had our carnival time recently.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's different than in different dates than in Cologne, right? That's what
Yes.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for being with us today.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
It is a pleasure.
It is a pleasure. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Still a pleasure.
Mhm. Alrighty then. Drum roll, please. You sound like our cat. It's time for our listener feedback spotlight while Shya is here purring with me. We get to hear from one of our listeners.
About how transformation has impacted their lives. And if you'd like to learn more or register for any of our upcoming courses, visit transformationmadeeasy.com.
Yeah.
And when I say easy, it's like the fire swamp.
Yeah, join us.
If you know your way through it, it's easy. If you have a good guide, it's easy. If you don't, well, there's rodents of unusual size. There's lightning sand.
Oh,
What's
all
the other
those.
thing?
I don't remember.
Oh, and the fire spurts.
There
Right.
you go.
There you go.
We're great
Transformation
guides.
made easy.
Hi, I'm Val, and I'm from Parsippany, New Jersey. And I love attending seminars, listening to podcasts with Ariel and Shya, and reading their blog posts because I rediscover who I am. I discover that I am a being that has a lot to offer the world, and I have a choice where I can be that person or work on myself. And the seminars and all those resources give me the opportunity to invest in who I am and what I have to offer and the amazing people in my life.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shya's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
Just want to let all of you who are joining us in Costa Rica in 2026. I know it seems like a while, but tomorrow is the early registration discount deadline. So if you're coming, you may as well get a bargain. Put in your first third. You can see all the different details, but you get it at a discount. So in order to do that, it requires coming to a weekend seminar sometime throughout this year, either in person or virtually.
You can come to more than one if you like.
Yeah, really.
I definitely suggest more than one because consistency is queen or king, depending on your preferences.
That state trooper was my queen today, so I like queen. The Freedom to Breathe is Thursday, May 22nd. Again, it's in Hamburg. What an awesome day just to fill you with breath.
And to reiterate, the superpower of being you. That's a good word, right? Reiterate. Mm-hmm. The superpower of being you is May 23rd, 24th, and 25th. That's a Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday.
You know, it's interesting. I'm going out tomorrow to get a massage here locally. And I have to say, even the first 15 minutes of the Freedom to Breathe always gives me more than a 2-hour massage. Just being there and breathing is always, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That we're also doing another in-person course over the summer. It's in New York City, our first New York City course since March of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, COVID pandemic.
Be there or be square.
Yeah, creativity and intuition, the 25th, 6th, and 7th. And then we'll be coming back to the virtual land sometime in the fall. You can find out more about our weekend seminars in Costa Rica at transformationmadeeasy.com. Let's take our next guest.
Yes.
All right, Ephraim. Welcome to being here.
Thank you. This is Ephraim in Manhattan, and it's just great to be with you guys.
Great.
I'm just excited about this. Excuse me. My throat got froggy. Sorry about that.
No worries.
That feels a little better.
You were saying you were excited about something.
Yeah, I was excited about the topic of this show, superpower of being you. And I had the thought that the key to it is perfection. But that it's all about seeing your own perfection and embracing that and the perfection of the moment. But I think I also have the idea that superpower of being me has to do with doing something great. Like I'm supposed to, solve cancer or.
Wait a second. See, there's a big difference between doing and being. This is a superpower of being you, not the superpower of doing you. See, people do things in their lives. Problem is, for most, they aren't there. They're thinking of other things. They're wishing for different circumstances than they have. But when you're really being where you are, that's your power base in the universe. It's when you think things ought to be different that you're out of balance. But when you are where you are, that balances you. Being in the moment happens and you transform out of your getting into the current moment. But most people, for the most part, are thinking about what they want or need that they think is going to make them better in some way or more fulfilled or successful. You're talking about doing something like curing cancer as if that will make you. I'll tell you something. There are scientists out there who have done all kinds of awesome stuff that don't feel any more powerful for having done it. Every success, look, you're pretty awesome, You are an architect who contributed in part to the Hudson Yard complex in New York City.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. You're not a super. Okay. Other superheroes, but tell me, if you had to choose one or the other, just for the sake of this conversation, would it be Spider-Man or would it be Superman?
Superman.
Okay, so Superman and Clark Kent were the same guy. Is Clark Kent not a superhero?
He is.
So when you're sitting there pretending to be the small, meek version of yourself with no phone booth in sight to change into your red spandex, are you still a superhero?
You are.
No, not me. I'm asking about you.
I love that. You guys make it sound so simple.
Well, maybe it is so simple. See,
Yeah.
isn't that complex on in some ways it is that complex. See, like I am in amazement at my iPhone.
The complexity of that little handheld computer is awe-inspiring.
It's just outside my ability to understand how all that happens. Okay? But that doesn't make me any less that I don't understand it. But if I am not in the current moment of my life, there is no current moment. It's all about getting somewhere that will be more different or better than where I am. Even if I accomplish that. So you created plans for this amazing building complex. Now I know in your mind you just
worked on the skin of the, but we wouldn't want the windows to fall out of the building or we.
Right. So in your mind you could contradict what I said, but that you produced that amazing thing, that you were part of that. You disregard that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I know you shook your head. Your was almost audible.
Yeah. I I forget that yeah, I'm perfect exactly the way I am.
Well, hey, that you exist.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. The possibility. Look, as far as astronomers know, this is the only place that has life on the planet in the universe. I mean, there may be other places, but they're so far flung that we have no other. This is a very amazing moment that we are in.
Well, I have a question for you, Ephraim. I know you have a daughter and I know you adore her. When she was born and you're holding her, she's a newborn, were you chastising her for not doing enough yet?
No, it's a miracle of life, right?
And how old is she now?
10 years old.
So now she's 10 and she may go to school and come back and show you a project she's proud of. But isn't just being in her presence enough?
It is.
I mean,
well, when she's not being a brat, how's
of
that?
course, all kids have those moments where you're like, really? Grow up, please. But I just think that you don't regularly afford yourself the same grace as you do for your child.
That's sweet. Yeah, I've been talking to Nico about perfection because she doesn't, she sees it as sort of good and bad, like you're either perfect or you're not, or something to strive for. So I've been talking to her about the concept of being perfect exactly as you are.
I like you've been talking to her about the concept. I think she learns the most out of how you operate with yourself, aside from what you verbally teach her.
Yeah, absolutely. For the best and for the worst of it.
The best and the worst?
I mean, it is what it is. It's
well, there's something in what you're avoiding saying now that I find interesting. It has something to do with your self-judgment, where you judge yourself for not being as perfect as you think you ought to be.
Or you're striving to be a better dad.
That's right. So it's somewhere in there that you had difficulty talking about it. It leads me to believe that you're trying to avoid honesty. Honesty's a killer, man. Honesty brings things to life. When you're being dishonest, hiding things or attempting to hide things, everything gets obfuscated. It gets a blur. It becomes ambiguous. There's no clarity. There's no certainty because you're afraid of being seen in the lie of what you say you don't want to say. So somewhere in there, you've got something going on that you are skirting rather than just saying what your truth is.
It's usually things that we're being hard on ourselves for, or we don't want to see ourselves more so than what we don't want other people to see.
Yeah. I like that.
Because if I judge myself for having a countertop that's disheveled, then I'm going to skirt around that idea because I don't want other people to know those things I'm judging about myself. And so there's lifestyles, there's conflict in relationship, there's if something degrades with a family member and you judge yourself for it, etc., etc.
Oh, yeah. I'm listening to what you're saying and trying to make sense. And yeah, you're saying I get to I obfuscate when there's something that I am being dishonest about, and
Yourself.
to myself, right?
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
see,
know
the
they
truth-
can't
your
see you,
truth-
but you're grinning.
That's right. Your truth is very simple. And then there's the things you put up with that are in opposition to your truth, but you don't want to make waves. You're nodding again.
Yeah.
This is audio. Nobody heard your nod. I saw it.
Nobody can see your big fat grin either.
Right.
Ephraim.
Hey, man, you're doing it perfectly.
You are. Yeah, I was thinking about it before we did this video audio today, because I know we're releasing it as audio. I came home from Pilates, you were taking a nap, I got the tea together and whatnot. And I woke you up from your nap in time to come here. And I was thinking, man, I'm tired today.
Yeah.
And I realized that in my picture of superhero, superpower of being me,
You never need a nap.
you don't need a nap. You're upbeat all the time. I have that, as to borrow a phrase from Ephraim, I have the concept perfection. And then there is the reality.
The reality of your body needs rest from time to time. We had a very active day yesterday.
We had an active weekend. And for whatever reason, here we are. So, yeah, I like it.
Well, I from time to time have to remind myself to allow myself to do nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Because the program that we've been given, downloaded into us, is that we're bad people if we're not constantly doing more and more.
Mm. You never think that, do you, Ephraim?
No. Yeah. I just get everything done and without procrastination. And
You are a superhero.
Excellent. Well, I know you guys who are listening can't see it. He's sitting in a falafel restaurant in New York City, and it's got really fun signage behind him. So thank you for joining us from Falafel Land. And
thank you. I'm sorry I can't take your order.
Another day.
Real Ephraim just showed
That's
up.
right. We did well. Well, you can subscribe to this podcast. You can share it with your friends. And if you haven't, go ahead and and subscribe to our newsletter. They're great. Videos of the month, blogs of the month. Awesome. You can find all our courses and the newsletter link to sign up at transformationmadeeasy.com. Next week's episode, Mirror, mirror on the wall. I am my mother after all. We'll be back next week. So come on back.
And you're your father too, by the way.
Yeah. Maybe that's next month. You know, we're getting close to Mother's Day.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
All right. So we'll be back.
Come on back. Don't miss being here.